What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back. Today, I'm here to talk about episodes 10 through 12 of Ulysses. Let's get it. Favorite reader, that's who you are. Traveling near, traveling far. Through every chapter, you're the star. Favorite reader, that's who you are. Okay, so episode 10 correlates with The Wandering Rocks. Episode 11 correlates with Sirens, and episode 12 correlates with Cyclops of the Odyssey. Let me just say, hold on, let me get my pen out of here. And we're making good progress. This is where we are now. I really hope y'all can see this. Doing pretty good. Before I jump into what those episodes are about, I do let me tell you what the episodes are about, first of all. So episode 10, I said it correlates to The Wandering Rocks. In the Odyssey, Odysseus is given two paths that he could take, and he actually does not choose The Wandering Rocks. I actually knew that, surprisingly, from the little teeny tiny bit that I actually know about the Odyssey. So when I saw it on the list of episodes and what they correlated to, I was surprised to see that this one was The Wandering Rocks. And I thought there would be some kind of parallel of like something that's an option, but you're not really going down that path. And this didn't really have that. He like fully dived into this this episode. And let me see what I said. Most of my notes on this section is literally about like his sentences, like the sentence structure, the way that he puts words together. But yeah, like it's kind of going over the ebbs and flows of things. Again, this is everyday life, everyday things in Dublin, Ireland. You see people on the streets just wandering. You see people stopping and talking. You got people eating. You got people coming in and out of conversations. And I don't know what I was expecting. I did like this episode though. I feel like the more I read this book, the more I like it. I can say that. Something that I've noticed when reading this, it's like some stuff you have to, now you don't have to. My approach to reading this is I really want to deep dive on some things. Like I want to know what they're talking about, what may be the relevance of it, something that I don't know. Like, is this a call to something else? And then some other things I'm just like, I'm just going to read that. And I know it's probably something about something. And I don't know. Like, I'm just going to read it. And that might have something to do with the time of day that I read it. The earlier in the day, the more likely I am to just let it roll. When I my most productive hours, even though I do things all day. I wake up in the morning and I'm just on go in the beginning. But I feel like the time where I'm the most, like my brain is the most active and productive is like after the kids go to bed at night. So later in the night. And that's where I find myself like looking stuff up, wanting to see this, going back and reading this, figuring out what this is, seeing how it correlates to the Odyssey. Like I'm doing more of a deep dive when I'm in my zone. So I did notice that. And then you have episode 11. I said that correlates with Sirens of the Odyssey. And that is like a song, okay? And this episode is very musical. I've said that in earlier episodes too because there has been elements of music. So there were like parts in here that were rhythmic, very interesting. Like over these past, like 10, 11, and 12, I'll talk about 12 in a minute for sure, because that was my favorite one out of these three. But they all just had like sentences that packed a punch and everything. Like he has some sentences that seem short and abrupt, boom. And then other ones that go on for almost a paragraph is like one sentence. But it seems like he just doesn't waste any words, even though a whole lot of it seems like gibberish. Not a whole lot. To me, it's just like, what Like, what's going on? The way that James Joyce writes is so vivid. And I feel it's like you ever read something and you understand some of it, but you feel like you missing something. That's what's happening here. Like, I know I'm missing a lot because I don't have a super solid a super solid background in the Odyssey. I know I'm missing a lot because I haven't read his other works either. And that's fine. You can still enjoy it. I'm still actively enjoying this. Sorry. Even though I know there's stuff like I feel like it would enrich the experience the more things you have to draw on, but like it's still good. And that speaks a lot to the type of writer he is. So you get wrapped up in his structure and the way that he put words together. And this is a good example of why I like the written word so well. He uses like everything to his advantage, and he's so creative in how he does it and like inventive in a lot of ways. And when you see it on the page, audiobooks count as reading. I know this, you know this, tell a friend and tell a friend. But when you look at the words on the page and you just see how he's using everything to his advantage. I mean, the punctuation, the sentence structure, the way that it's formatted on the page, that gets me excited. Like when you look and you can see the effort that went into formulating this page. It's just like, I mean, like even down to like the words and the alliteration used and the how things are repeated and where they repeat it. I was just like, I'm such an appreciator of that because I just feel like it's an art. It really is. And I had a time. So yeah, when you read this, I've had people tell me like, don't try to research every little thing. I've had some other people say, just go with the flow. I'm doing like a mixture of two. There are some things I'm reading over, like I said, typically early in the morning. If I'm reading it, I'm just letting it just roll. But I am like, when I feel more inclined to look through stuff and research stuff, I will. That's typically at night. And the benefit of reading this over a year with the A Year of Ulysses subreddit group, you got time to do that. Like there's no, like I have time to just do whatever. If I was to read this straight through by myself, like if I took a month to read it straight through by myself, I would not be looking up all the stuff that I'm looking up. Because there's times where I kind of want to keep going, like learn more about, like keep hearing more about the story. And because I'm trying to stay on schedule, I'll then use that desire to want to read this to go look up other stuff. Hold on. Got my sticky note, yeah. I take that desire to want to read this and I'll use that time to go look up other stuff like supplemental stuff to help me like understand what's going on or get some kind of context or listen to some of the things that's referenced in here. Every time I feel like it, which is usually most times, if there's something in another language, I do go translate it. Plenty of Latin, French, what else? Italian, Irish, I think Greek, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But let me jump into it. I said my favorite episode of these three was episode 12, which is like, it correlates to the Cyclops in the Odyssey. Hands down was my favorite. It had some of my favorite quotes in it from these three. I found myself rereading stuff in it. There's this introduction to this character called the Citizen, and the conversations around politics and anti-Semitism and religion as a whole, and just like being an individual under the thumb of some kind of oppression, or just a community under the thumb of a communal oppression. It just has so many gems in it. And just, again, you got like this message and this interesting conversation going on paired with these sentences that just was like, dang, that's good. Or like, I don't know, just the experience of going through these three. But really, episode 12 was just like, man, it's good. This is good. I appreciate what I understand is being done in here. It's a lot going on in here. I already know I don't understand, but I appreciate the things I do get. And even just knowing, like, you can come into this book and be at any level and find something enjoyable out of it. I mean, he's making up words. It's like catty at times. It's satirical at times. It's philosophical at times. It's religious at times. It's countercultural at times. It's challenging at times. You can find something no matter what level you are, what level reader, what you like in a book. I feel like you can find enjoyment in this. I also see why people stop reading it. I'm going to say this the whole time. I can see why people put this book down and don't come back. Because with all of this stuff that I'm saying about it, it's positive. And don't get me wrong, I truly think it's positive, and I'm glad that I'm sticking to it. I see why people put it down, because there's a lot going on in this book. Like, James Joyce was doing a whole lot. And yes, it all goes together well, and it becomes this cohesive thing, and everything again seems so intentional. At the same time, it's a lot when you just want to pick up a book and read it. Like, again, like I mentioned, he making up words. Every sound, for instance, instead of like describing what a sound sounds like or like what's happening and then you hear a sound, that's written out like an actual word. So whatever the sound would make, he's writing that out, and that's what's on the page. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of everything that would typically be described. He's writing it. So sounds, they're being written out. Taste, they're being written out. Little things, they're being written out. And it is a lot, but it's good, y'all. It really is good. I'm enjoying this. Then I want to say something, because in previous videos, I mentioned that I really like Mr. Bloom. Mr. Bloom is like an interesting character, and I don't necessarily think he's supposed to be unlikable or likable. I think he's just supposed to be ordinary, which is kind of a big premise of this book, period. I think he's supposed to be flawed, but also, like, depending on the circles he's in or where he's at, maybe he presents a certain way. Not because he's like pretending, but just because that's what you do in that setting. Like, we saw him at work, and his coworkers probably have one view of him. Then you see him with his wife. We haven't seen him with his wife, but you can kind of see they have one view of him. Then you can see him in a conversation. They have a view of him, and then you see him here. And they're not all good. And I just feel like that's a good representation and very like realistic. So I can appreciate that. And yeah, this was gonna be a quick episode. I just wanted to jump in and say I'm enjoying it. Again, we making our way. Hold on, I'm gonna cover my head. We making our way through. I found so many good things. But that's it, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you read Ulysses, if you want to read it, what you think about it. And yeah, we'll see y'all on the next one.
Pages turning soft as silk, stories flowing like warm milk. A journey starts with every line, worlds unfolding in your mind. Bookmarks falling where dreams collide. Every cover's got a tale inside. Favorite reader, that's who you are. Traveling near, traveling far. Through every chapter